right, welcome to the new mini show, the Picard Prediction Smackdown, where we each propose what we think is going to happen in Star Trek Picard and decide whether it's possible, probable, likely, unlikely, utter fan wank, or just worth being smacked down because it's ludicrous. So let's see how we're shaping up for this week. We're going to change things up a little bit, and I'd like to start off with new predictions before we go back and evaluate some of the existing ones. So, and I know some of you have some predictions ready, so who wants to go first? Not you, Justin. You get to go second.
Okay.
Because you've got a good one, and but let's get a good warm-up one.
Wait.
There's
Justin
no one
or
have
Travis?
predictions.
Wait, Justin or Travis?
Justin goes second.
Okay,
Oh,
so Travis
Justin
goes first.
Travis.
Okay,
right.
so, all right. Well, I thought it would be pretty cool, especially with what we see with Rafi in this current episode with how she's dealing with her family situation. Why don't we give her a little heart-to-heart with Counselor Troy?
Well, except for the fact that
I know that it's not.
he's not with Picard.
I know it's not a TNG show.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the logistics of it.
It's the logistics of it.
Except for the fact that she's a terrible counselor. How about that?
Well, okay, we're going to assume she is a good counselor just for sake of the story.
Yeah, okay.
Although she really is terrible. I mean, objectively. But that, I blame the writers.
Blame the writers. Don't blame Troy for that.
I'm glad we can make that distinction. I will say this. I will not give it a complete smackdown because I actually think it could be potentially a really good scene because it's just employing who she is, not trying to do a rehash of a TNG thing. And they both have these important relationships with Picard. It would be interesting to see that. I don't think it's going to happen simply because of the logistics of it.
I would think her having a counseling session with Soji would be more likely than with Rafi. You know what I mean? I mean, well,
I can see where it happened.
I mean, not only is she going to be there, but the other side of this is that, Soji's still not done. Everything that went on in the
her mission is
Impossible Box, she's still not done trying to figure herself out. Mm-hmm. So I could see Troy intervening in that.
I will put that as a separate one under Shawn.
Sure, I'm okay. I'll commit to that.
Troy gives Rafi a counseling session.
No, not Rafi, Soji.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I was inspired by you, Travis, on that one.
Travis is Rafi.
Right.
Troy gives
Soji
a counseling session.
A counseling session might be a little.
The doctor is in 5 cents.
5 cents. Yeah, I'm sort of rounding up with some of these descriptions. It'll be more nuanced than that.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to reluctantly give Travis's prediction an unlikely only because of the
because it's fan wank.
It doesn't have to come across as fan wank. There's the dramatic reason for why it could occur. I just think that they would really have to contort themselves given the logistics they've set up of which characters are in which place.
Here's the thing. Soji is a person in crisis looking for help. Rafi is a person in crisis running from help.
Which might make it all the more interesting.
Exactly.
I think she would refuse to have a counseling session first and foremost.
More there. Oh, there's my O face. Oh.
Not Commodore O.
Commodore O face.
You need some Ray-Bans if you're going to do that, mister.
True. I have another theory that we're going to see a special bond between Rafi and Soji by the end of this season.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Because they both got fucked up shit going on in their head.
Okay, how do we want to rate that?
I don't know.
I think that is extremely possible if my prediction pans out.
The one that you're about to give us?
Well, the one that I will give you after Justin.
Right, we should get to Justin's. All right, Justin, hit it.
Oh no.
Oh no. Justin thinks Hugh is no longer for this world.
Because everything else they have thrown at us so far at Picard means that they will do whatever it takes to really make us go, what in the fuck?
What do you think?
Man. He's like the Daryl of this series.
I tend to agree with Shawn. They're not going to kill him off because he provides a groundedness to this show that I think just makes him important to keep around.
If Elm able to defend Hugh after showing off the badassery skills he has, I will be heartbroken. Like, Elnor, don't let me down, man.
Yeah, don't let us down, Elnor.
See, I think they've made it very clear that we killed off Egypt, so don't worry about it.
We've already killed off our requisite.
Here's the thing, and let's be completely honest about that. That Hugh has appeared in 3 episodes of Next Generation, where each have appeared in 11, and Hugh had far more of an impact in just his first episode than each did in all 11 of his episodes. That's not to take anything away from the character. It's just that Hugh is just such a better written character, and in the course the episode Iborg is one of the best episodes of that franchise. Period. So whereas Icheb came in the tail end of a series that was really
struggling,
and didn't really make any kind of impact. I mean, he was there and he was fine. Okay, didn't have any problem with the character. It was fine, but that's about the extent of it, you know. But I just don't see us losing you.
See, that's the weirdest thing to me. It's the people who want to hate Picard so fucking much are the exact same people who absolutely hated Voyager.
Yep.
20 fucking years.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. It's exactly.
Or the same ones that hated DS9.
And now that Icheb is essentially a glorified red shirt, they're all fucking pissed.
Well, right.
He actually was a red shirt.
Exactly.
In that scene.
Well, look, if you go to Trek BBS, okay, I find if it's still the way it used to be, okay, you can actually go back to the beginning of time on their posts. You start going back into the late 90s, oh my God, the hate for everything Voyager, the hate for everything Enterprise, and it's really something else. It really was. It's like it is now.
It was there for DS9 too, but it's not what. But it was more so for Voyager and Enterprise.
No,
that was about the time when the internet really started to take off.
When I came into the Trek BBS, it's Trek fans had figured out by that point how good of a series Deep Space Nine was. That was about 1997 or 98, I think. About 97 is when I came to Trek BBS. They figured it out at that point. So
that was well into the Dominion War.
Right, exactly. And I think if you go back further to when the series first started for the first few seasons, yeah, you'd probably see that. But
it was weaker in the first 2 seasons. Travis, you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is put on What We Left Behind and just watch the actors read reviews of their own show. It's glorious.
True. Son, do you want to weigh in on the death of Hugh?
I think it's more likely we'll see the death of Elnor before we see the death of Hugh.
No!
Ooh.
God damn.
No! Stop it!
Don't drool all over the place, sir.
Friends.
That would really distress me.
Yeah.
That would really distress me. I did note that in the spreadsheet, son.
I thought I was bad. I thought that mine was bad, but
yours is bad, but hers is worse. But she's not actually predicting that. She's not actually predicting that. What she's saying is you'll see Elnor go before you see Hugh go. So she gets some slack for that. So.
If anything,
don't scare me like that, man.
I'm not. Yeah, no, this is not an actual prediction. What I mean is that Elnor's defense pact for Picard would naturally extend to Hugh, who is a friend of Picard.
Yeah, he's part of the mission to which
I agree with that.
So Elnor would die before Hugh would die.
Yeah, I'm really. I gotta be honest.
And by that thing, if something were to happen to Hugh, Elnor would go all out revenge on every single Romulan in that cube.
Especially considering the trailer.
If the Kuat Malat way is about revenge.
So, especially considering that the next trailer literally has Sister with a knife at Hugh's throat. So, I'm not saying Elnor is dead, but Elnor would probably have to die.
Bye, Hugh. Bye, Hugh.
I will cry.
Well, look.
Travis will cry. Okay. All right. So, who would like to offer a prediction next?
I've got one, but like I said on the main show for tonight, it's a conspiracy theory.
Okay. Hit it.
Is it possible that Rafi is a synth?
Whoa.
That's out of nowhere.
I think that's completely.
It sounds like
Rafi
made it herself.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Do you have any evidence for this?
Circumstantial evidence?
Lay it on me, sister.
Okay, so when we get to Maddox in Free Cloud, he talks to, or when we get to Maddox on the ship, essentially, when we save him, sort of, he's talking to Girardi about the twins being perfectly imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that implied he had created other synths beforehand. And each iteration, especially considering we're constantly hearing these Romulans talking about the nest, which also implies that there are more, that there could be more.
Sure.
So this perfectly imperfect. Well, if you don't have a character that's perfectly imperfect, you would just have a character that is imperfect. And Rafi is really imperfect as a character.
Yeah, see, that doesn't work for me, and here's why. The whole notion of perfectly imperfect is that Maddox was trying to make his synths as human-like as possible, which means imperfect. That means they're starting out from a place of perfection, and he needed to move them towards a place of imperfection. Whereas, your theory is going the other way, and it just doesn't make any.
Not necessarily. Not
necessarily.
What
if it's not Rafi? What if it's not Rafi?
Well, that's a whole different prediction. I don't see any evidence for this whatsoever. So I'm putting it as utter speculation.
I say that she is imperfect because that has been the big goal all the time, to make something perfectly imperfect. And if you haven't done that with a whole bunch of synths, like Rafi, to cope with a transition of...
kind of kid.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Why? Yeah, she's married. She has a son. She's addicted. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to start off from a place where you'd have an artificial life form that's addicted to something.
That's a coping mechanism, just like Soji's dreams are.
Except that's programmed in. That's programmed in.
That is programmed in.
It doesn't make any sense. You don't start... He's trying to make something deliberately imperfect, but still perfect. And that's not her. She's not even a step along that path. Okay, I'm putting it as utter speculation. We'll see. You may get bragging rights. We'll see.
If you get bragging rights,
another +1.
No, that'll be like a +5 because if you're correct, it's a brilliant observation. But I don't see it.
I don't think it's Rafi at all. But
okay, so who do you think it is, Justin?
Girardi.
Girardi is a
synth. Think about it. Maddox is. I mean, that would be his greatest achievement next to the girls.
Except she ostensibly. Well, I don't know. I don't dislike it. I'm gonna list it as possible.
See, here's the thing. We've only seen two people in this series. Have dreams: Soji and Picard. We have memories from 7 of the Icheb incident, but not dreams.
Yeah, that was actually flashback.
So we only have 2 people having had dreams in this episode.
In this series, yeah.
It is entirely possible that a handful of these creations are, a handful of these people are dreamless synthetic life forms masquerading as human beings without realizing it. The way Rios would cope with it. If he was one. No, wait a minute. Let me finish. Damn it! Okay. Let me finish.
Finish. Good Lord.
The way Rios would cope with it would be dividing his personality among all the EMH characters.
What does that have to do with synthetics?
Because it would give his personality. It would give his strongest personality control over the body, with all of the other characteristics of what would make him human detached from himself.
Sorry, I have no idea what does this have to do with anything? No, seriously, I think I missed something.
The biggest point of asking about Rafi.
We were talking about Girardi. We're talking about Girardi being
I thought Girardi would be my guess just because you work very closely with Maddox, and if you listen closely to the way Maddox was talking to her, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It makes more sense than Rafi.
I'd really like to finish talking about Rafi first before stepping all over me and then moving on.
Do it.
Okay, finish. I mean,
Rafi's entire drive is about a conspiracy against the Federation. What if Maddox had this information beforehand and created a synth to try and find it? We already know that Maddox is fully capable of forging credentials to get his synths where he wants them or where he wanted them. It is entirely possible that he created a synth and put that synth into Starfleet before the ban on synths even began, if he knew there was some sort of conspiracy. Maybe he stumbled upon it during his work.
It doesn't seem to me like Bruce Maddox is not all-knowing. He created Daj and Soji to find out the truth after the synthetic ban went into place.
Also, if you actually, I know the book backstory on the whole synthetic thing. The synths were built specifically to help build the ships for the rescue mission.
Well, yes, that's true. We do see that portrayed in
and Rafi was Picard's first officer back in the comics for the rescue operation. So she would have been around for a lot longer than that.
Her history goes back way, way before then, folks.
Yeah.
She's not a young person. So it's unlikely that Maddox would have made the kinds of advances that he's obviously made with Soji and Daj in order to come up with something, some kind of synth that's so well done that she could masquerade for literally decades, including having a child. I don't see it. I think that Justin's theory about Girardi does make a lot more sense if you think about it in terms of what could be so terrible that once it was revealed to Girardi that it would drive her to be able to justify her killing Maddox. And what O could have shown her was that she herself is a synthetic.
And if you go back and rewatch the scene where she kills Maddox, you see her physically, mentally wrestle with what's about to happen. I mean, like she's trying to process it. And I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean, that's weird. What a human would do. That by itself, I don't think is enough evidence.
No, but it was premeditated. If it's premeditated, when you just do it. Not the. I mean, she was actually really like she was trying to be forced to do it. And her better judgment.
Do it.
I want to point out something too, that the Javage. Okay, their secret. When I was going back in the episode and I was looking at and verifying what Sarah said about the cybernetics, she also said that they're the keepers of the secret that is so terrible that it would break one's mind. So that's a direct connection to what has happened. We have Frozen Carlos? I think we have
Frozen Carlos.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
there
if I come back.
He's back.
Are you back?
Yay!
Cool. Yeah. No, I heard everything you said. So keep going.
Okay, so there's a direct connection between what Lara said about the Javage and exactly what happened with Girardi, as far as the terrible secret she learned. So
yeah, I mean, I think it fits. A terrible secret would be, significant people placed around, potentially Romulan and the Federation who are actually like synthetics on the level of Girardi or Dodge or Soji. But I think the only issue that is at odds with that is Soji and Dodge are only 3 years old. So that means they're relatively recent advancement. So I'm not sure, unless Girardi herself is like a
lost you again.
Contribution that let me know when I come back. Am I back? Okay. So what I'm thinking maybe that the contribution Girardi made was her life, and Maddox created a replicant of her.
Like I assumed, Julia assumed, but then Girardi. Ooh.
You're there.
Yeah.
You're with us.
No,
I like that.
I thought you froze.
He's holding up his hands, going, "Is anybody else getting this?" And yes, I understand what he's getting.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
I don't know. This I will admit I will classify this as utter speculation as well, but it is at least based on some evidence that we've seen and heard on the show. So I'm gonna put it down.
Frozen Carlos, utter speculation.
No, Frozen Carlos. Defrost in the microwave for 15 minutes.
50s communist accusations. You're a synth.
Death to you.
Oh my God.
Kill the Q.
All right.
I said Q, not the Q.
I deliberately misinterpreted what you said.
Okay.
For dramatic purposes, I highly approve. Okay, any other new predictions? Shawn, you've made some. Travis, you made one. Justin, you've made one. You've made some else. Before I give you mine,
Go for it.
My prediction. My prediction is we're going to see an XB uprising. That Picard's visit to the artifact does in fact inspire the ex-Borg to rise up against their Romulan masters.
I can dig it.
And that's ultimately how the La Sirena is going to get away.
I don't think it's more like the uprising. I would think it's more likely if Hugh dies, the Borg are going to uprise.
No, I think it's more about Picard's inspiration.
Yeah, but Hugh is in the Queen's chamber. If the Queen is in
not anymore.
Well,
not
no,
anymore. They just
but
left
he has
it.
a direct connection. He has a connection in order to operate the Queen Chamber.
Just because he was in the room doesn't mean that he's a queen.
Well,
No,
here's the thing you're missing in that, though.
Yeah.
Would they rally under Picard or Locutus?
Picard's gone. They'll rally under Hugh, but
No. That's not what I'm saying. Their cause, their martyr, their symbol. Would they rally under Picard or would they rally under Locutus?
Well, from their perspective, it's six of one, half a dozen of the other.
Hence the guy in the hallway that goes, Locutus!
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, and that's kind of why I think that was so significant. But yeah, I think you're right. As far as they're concerned, Picard, Locutus, it's six of one, half a dozen of the other.
He didn't say Locutus. He said the cutest. As in, you're the
cutest. The most adorable.
But see, here's the thing. Hugh is also very well known, and if something were to happen to him in a very dramatic way, let's say if we see Hugh being obviously interrogated in the trailer.
And remember who Soji is. She has traded the XBs very humanely.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So the idea of helping her escape would be something as well. That would be
And to add on to that, I'm reminded of a quote from episode 3 that Hugh drops. Like, the XBs are often seen as either a threat to be shelved or a property to be exploited, and the Romulans see them as both. And
yes, good point.
Tying that in with the quote he drops here about how they're enslaved and are helpless under a queen that is now Romulan, it's very much like I can totally see that they would say enough's enough.
And I really think he was the one that causes them to rise up.
Well, I mean, he's going to lead them because obviously Picard isn't there, but Picard's inspiring them.
Yeah, but you're okay. The catalyst for their uprising. What the symbol for their uprising is obviously Picard, Locutus. Okay. The catalyst for their uprising would be the disappearance of the two people who truly treated them as independent beings, Hugh and Soji.
And the real catalyst would be if they killed Hugh, that would set him off. I mean,
but you're imputing something to them that they don't have yet. Okay.
How do we know? Martyrs.
Because they would have done it by now if they would. You act like they're just ready and waiting for a spark.
Well, look at the conditions that they're living in. Once you want to get
which would be as a human, but that's not what they are.
No, but they want to be human again. So they would, I mean, look at...
They seem very happy in the role of manual laborer and concierge. That's how I look at it.
Okay, how do we want to rate this? I won't rate my own prediction. So I'm
plausible.
-2.
Plausible?
What was your prediction?
Borg uprising on the artifact.
Okay, I guess plausible. I mean, yeah.
I'll go out on a limb. I'll say it's very likely.
It's very likely if it's under Hugh.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. Let's be honest. It would mirror exactly what happened with the synths. So, I mean.
Yeah, maybe so.
And we've seen disconnected Borg drones rally to a cause before. So, I mean, look at Unimatrix.
Oh, that would be absolutely and utterly hilarious if all this time Soji's treating them as human as what causes this uprising thing in the first place.
Yeah, so I can see it.
She's the destroyer simply because she was kind.
I like that, son. I like that.
Ooh.
Everybody else in the galaxies treated these Borg like shit, and the synths like shit.
Do you guys remember exactly how Ramda described her again in the prophecy? Does anyone remember that off the top of their heads?
The sister.
Seb the Destroyer.
The sister.
Which?
No, but there was a whole. She gave some description along with it. That I'm just wondering if there's any clues in that. I'll have to look it up.
Description.
I'll look it up.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find the episode.
You mean when
mythologist
watching the talk show?
Yes.
I don't remember too much about what she says in that little description. I remember that she mentioned something about demons being freed of their shackles and that they will...
That would be the Borg!
There you go.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Okay, any other predictions before we wind up? Are you looking it up, Justin? It's Rhonda's interview on Romulan TV.
You're watching Romulan Alt.
Welcome. You're watching RNN.
And RNN is watching you.
Exactly. Okay, well, Justin keeps looking. Any other last comments and or predictions?
What's that, Kitty?
Let me think. No.
I can't. That's all I got. Those two. But I will say, on the whole, a great set of predictions this week from you guys. I've gone over the ones that we've done so far, and we didn't really find out anything on any of them that I think updates where they are. I probably should publish this spreadsheet on the Facebook group or something, so people can do a quick reference or whatever. But I think just to keep the time down, we'll focus on new predictions each week, and then just review any that either are disproven or proven. If that's all right with you guys.
Why not?
Okay. Any luck, Justin?
No, I don't have it handy. I do not have it handy. I'm trying to find it. I might have to go in the episode.
Okay. I'll need to start memorizing these episodes. If I can quote the entire Spaceballs movie with my sisters, I should be able to pull up certain passages of the...
Okay, so here's part of the quote, not all of the quote, because memory alpha, because of course.
Oh, yes.
It was said that Gunmadan was when, quote unquote, all the shackled demons break their chains and answer the call of the destroyer.
Oh my God, that's it, folks.
Oh, shit.
That is it.
And who would be the destroyer?
The destroyer is
Soji. Soji, of
that
course.
Is totally it. I think we're on the money for this one.
Soji.
Oh my God.
So listen. Oh shit.
So Soji liberates one Borg Q. Okay.
No,
but that leads.
God.
The idea is it's the destroyer of Romulan. I mean, Romulus or the Romulan status quo.
Well,
or whatever,
no, it was to threaten the entire galaxy.
Yeah, whatever. That's just regular mythological, overblowing. But I think I
still think your Borg origin story is a bunch of shit.
Well, we'll see about that.
Oh,
I think it all plays together.
I know your feelings on this, Travis, and that's fine. I'm willing to be wrong on that one. But I don't think we've had any more evidence, yay or nay, on that one, have we, in the last week?
Oh.
Not really. I just I tend to agree with Rowan on this one. When he touched briefly on it on his latest Star Trek video. You guys don't watch these videos. I highly recommend them. But I very much I kind of agree with him on the fact that there are so many Borg origin theories out there right now. I don't think that the writers would be building up the payoff of this season or like one of the highlights of this season to doing that. It just
why not?
No, it doesn't really.
If your argument is they're not
Cliffhanger.
going to do this one because there's so many others, that's not.
They won't do it all the way.
That's just icing on the cake.
Icing on which cake? They've made a point at the very beginning of the series to talk about the existence of the Zatbaj. They're ancient, and it's a deeply held dislike, distrust, hatred, whatever, of artificial life.
Yeah.
So it's something that we know goes way back. It's got deep cultural roots. We know the Borg go way back. Something had to have happened with artificial life to the Romulans that would cause this kind of, centuries-long animosity, conspiracy, whatever. And if they were, in fact, the civilization that led to the beginning of the Borg, that fits. So it's not.
I honestly don't think it's Romulans themselves, but I think maybe they were witness to how it happened. It wasn't their that they could have stopped it, but they didn't for whatever reason, and because of their inaction.
I think if you're looking for a poignant, fundamental story behind something, the galaxy's greatest danger, having your civilization being the one that created it, and ultimately leading to its doom, it makes more sense story-wise than some unknown origin.
Like I said, I'm not going to completely write it off, but I will.
You're just going to call it a pile of crap. Thanks, Travis.
A pile of crap and hope to God that it's wrong. Like, just think of it like if I have to compare it to something, think of it like towards the New York Yankees.
Wheelie Pike is so much of a smaller thing by comparison, son. Although I will definitely eat crow on Wheelie Pike.
I like to hear your New York Yankees comparisons because I hate the New York Yankees. I'd like to see where this goes.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, think of it like the New York Yankees. I'm not going to write them off as a baseball team, but I will say I hope they fucking lose.
Perfect.
I think I could do better than do worse than to be compared to the Yankees. Maybe not to you guys, but I'm okay with that kind of comparison. All right, I think that brings us to the end of this week's Smackdowns. We had more predictions than Smackdowns, I think, this week. But given the kinds of predictions we had this week, send hate mail. Thank you, Justin. Given the quality predictions, which I think were very good this week, I think that we'll probably see some more Smackdowns in the next episode or two. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back again as a separate podcast from the regular review show, and in addition to, of course, our regular weekly Super Geeks podcast. So join us again next week for the Picard prediction Smackdown. Thanks to all my hosts
send all complaints to complaints@axonarproductions.com.
Right. Okay. And that winds it up for this week. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.